ESPN.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Greg Scalzo and Ben Brust.
Catch us Monday through Friday, 4 to 6.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra on 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
So it's Greg, right?
Happy Friday! Live from Summerfest, the 55th edition of the Big Gig. It is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. No Ben Brust today. And I don't even know if I can call Ben Brust Big Time Benny Brust anymore, because sitting next to me is Big Time Homer.
I don't know if your level's right. Is his level okay? Because you talk louder than Tony does. We're using the same mics here at Summerfest.
Am I peeking a little bit, Joshy?
No, you're good. We have that.
All right, I'll leave it as it is. It's good.
Well, thank you for joining us here at Summerfest. We usually have Homer on every Friday, but not for all of Friday. And today we're going to get him for most of Friday, I believe. So
yeah, I have to leave not just like 10 minutes early. That's not.
It's all good. Me and Joshy can take it home. But you put Big Time Benny Brust to shame after your conversation on the air yesterday with one Dwayne Wade, who's going to be elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame in beautiful Springfield, Massachusetts.
Is it beautiful? I don't even know where it is.
I mean, I lived in Massachusetts, and I don't know if I ever intentionally went to Springfield.
Well, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's near Connecticut.
It's Western Mass, which is a whole different state than you think when thinking of Boston. But Joshy, I want to hear it yesterday on the air when our guy Homer here was invited to attend Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction by Mr. Wade himself.
Question for you. August 11 and 12, I will be in Springfield, Mass. Would you join me?
Yes.
All right.
You need any more?
I would love to see you at the Hall of Fame. I just want to see you at the Hall of Fame, man. I appreciate you what you've meant for my career. I appreciate the voice you were for me growing up, and I want to make sure you're at the Hall of Fame, brother. So I'll see you there.
I will be there.
That's big time, Homer.
Everybody's
one of the all-time greats. Invite you personally to his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, and everybody says, well, I didn't react properly. I said, do you want more? I didn't. I've said since what happened was when he said it, first of all, I was surprised because he said, I have a question.
You sounded surprised.
He's never had a question for me in 20 years. It's the only thing, one time he said, like, don't you have better questions than that? That was something else. So that was part of it. And then when he said that, I thought, oh, I wasn't going to go. I can't say I wasn't going to go because then I thought, sometimes something happens, and just a lot of things go through your mind. Like, I can't say that because Tony will kill me if I do. What's the point of saying that?
Say, let me check it home to make sure the date's
right. I just want to let you know I wasn't going to go. But I wasn't going to go because it's like I didn't need to go. I lived Dwayne Wade. But when he says, would you go? Like, of course I'll go. I mean, if you ask me to go, I'm going to say no. And even if I wasn't going to go, I can't say no. There's like 20, and I didn't want to go into that because Tony would have just crushed me. You're such a loser. You're saying that. He just asked you if you wanted to go. So I made it simple. I said, yeah, I'll go. Sure, if you want me there.
I didn't think it was a bad response. You just sounded surprised. You just sounded like you were taken off guard, and you just were, yes, which was the right answer. So anyone giving you flack for that, I'm not sure you deserve.
Whatever. I don't feel bad about it because I know. I was thinking dang, I wasn't going to go.
What I want to know is what's the follow-up to that?
What?
Like to you going to Springfield?
None.
So you're just going to go there?
Yeah,
or
I'll be there.
Are you going to wait for Dwayne to send you a ticket?
No, he doesn't have to do anything. He asked me to be there, I'll be there.
Yeah, but he clearly invited you. Like, you're going to attend with him, right?
No, I didn't take it that way. No.
That's the only
He said,
way
I
to take
want you
it.
there. No, I don't. There's not going to be I'm not going to get an invite from Dwayne Wade.
I
will not hear from Dwayne Wade again.
I have the visual of Dwayne and Gabrielle Union, his wife, and the family in one row. I'm not saying you're sitting right next to Gabby.
No, I don't think.
But I think you're right behind in that next row where he's got that next group of people. Absolutely.
There's no way. I'm not anticipating.
You can't invite somebody to something and just be like, yeah, do you want to fly across the country?
That's what I'm assuming, yes.
I think he's going to cover your cost of travel and transportation, but I do think that you're going to be taken care of at the actual ceremony.
Oh, I don't assume that. I just assume I want you there. All right, I'll be there. I think it ends there. Like, Homer will be there, and he'll be in the group. And
is there a Marquette group going?
I think there is.
So, you probably get rolled into something here.
I don't know. I hadn't. Like I said, my involvement is still trying to get Andy Freund to go. He's on the team, and he wasn't going. I said, you got to go. So
there's some part of you that's thinking, man, Dwayne Wade just took $1,200 out of my pocket.
No. I would do anything for him. He's always been the best, and so that's how it was. Like, Dwayne Wade wants me to be there. I'll be there. Yeah, and there's
if he didn't ask you,
I wasn't going. No, I didn't need to go because, how could you not go? And I said, I lived it. I don't need. I mean. There was a time when Dwayne Wade came. I mean, I have so many stories of him. There was a time when he came back, and they were honoring him in some way. And it was like, I said, well, can I get him? And it was like, yeah, he's busy doing this. And so I just went over to the event where he was doing a media or whatever. And when he came out, I said, I just want to congratulate you. And he gave me a hug. And I said, well, can I talk to you? He said, sure. We talked down the aisle down a hallway for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, so, he's mentioned it. The whole thing that's weird is that when he would watch games, they didn't, at the Bradley Center, they didn't have the audio from the TV, so they would pipe in somehow our radio broadcast. So going back and watching all these games, he heard me speak pretty highly of him. So that's if Dwayne Wade says, I'd like you there. Okay, I'm there.
Greg, am I under the wrong impression? When I hear Dwayne Wade, somebody of that stature, invite Homer to the Hall of Fame and his induction, I'm thinking Dwayne Wade's taking care of flight, he's taking care of lodging, and Homer's going to be in the VIP. That's what it means when rich people invite you to stuff that way. Am I off?
No, I don't. But see, I didn't think he invited me. He's like, I want you to be there.
Can I hear it again, Josh? Can I hear the question again?
Question for you. August 11th and 12th, I will be in Springfield, Mass. Would you join me?
Join me.
Yes.
All right.
See, he said
you need any more?
I would love to see
he didn't say. That's all we need. If he said, "Are you going to be there?" and you said yes, I don't think it would have been the case. Will you join me? Is an invite. I don't necessarily agree that he's going to comp your hotel and your flights the way Josh does, but I do think when you're there, you're part of Dwayne's group. Like you're joining Dwayne it's not like if me, Greg Scalzo, who Dwayne Wade does not know, never met him, never talked to him. If I flew to Canton, I'm not joining Dwayne, or excuse me, to Springfield. I'm not joining Dwayne Wade in Springfield. I'm seeing Dwayne Wade in Springfield, but I'm not joining.
All right, if that's the case, what do I do next?
That's the question. I mean,
because I can tell you what I'm going to do next. Nothing.
You can't do anything.
I'm not going to do.
Now, you don't have to be specific here, but does Dwayne have like a team? Like when you work,
the person
that
set this up.
interviews.
I mean, the person who set up this interview. I guess I could, send an email to her like, what am I supposed to do? But I don't want to do that.
I mean, if you know that person well, I
don't. If there's a certain role that I have, that's going to come from them because it's not going to come from me. I'm not asking for anything because I don't need anything.
If you do ask anything, like if you get somebody you're comfortable enough with, and maybe it's somebody at Marquette, right? All you have to do is say, "What do I do? Do I need to do anything?" That's the question, Homer. You don't put it on anyone else. Do I need to? Hey, Dwayne wanted me to join him in Springfield for his Hall of Fame induction. Do I need to do anything or just show up? That's your question.
All right, I'm not going to ask that question.
Nothing.
If that's the way it is, he would have informed that person. I just invited him to be part of my group, right?
Dwayne Wade, his mind is all over.
Oh no,
it's been 24 hours.
Okay.
No, and so I'll be there. I'll be there with my son, and that's if I don't hear from anybody. I mean, I've already looked and set up. I haven't purchased the airline. Should I purchase the airline tickets?
No, I don't think so yet.
What?
I don't think yet.
No. All right.
I think you got to hold on. I do think it is possible that you're going to get some sort of. All right, hey, here's the plan. Because I mean, join him in Springfield to me implies you're part of it, of his group. Now, I don't think you're on like level one with him. You're not having breakfast with them and the family. Well, it'd be cool if you were. But
I guess I don't.
I don't even know if you're Dwayne Wade. Do you stay in Springfield, Massachusetts?
Well, I looked it up. The night before, they have some to do at the casino, the Mohegan.
A Mohegan style,
well,
yes.
they get their jackets and do all
that
this
makes
stuff.
Sense.
The speeches are there on Saturday. Now, I can tell you, I wasn't even planning to be there Friday. My plan was to find out when the speeches are, to leave Milwaukee early Saturday morning, listen to his speech, and then come back early Sunday morning. That was it. That was the plan.
All right. You got to stay in Mohegan Sun, too, now, huh?
Well, I've been there for clearly to gamble, but I think we played a game there at some point.
Yes, they have a basketball court. That's the home of the Connecticut Sun.
I don't know how far
WNBA
away that is from Springfield. It can't be far.
Not far.
Hour or something like that. So, no, that's my plan. So now I should wait on getting my plane tickets?
I would have an idea of what you want to do.
But that's what I want to do.
I would hold on.
I want to find out when the speeches are, get there before he speaks.
Or the other thing you can do is just buy a couple refundable tickets.
Yeah, I can do that with Southwest.
Yeah, and so then if all of a sudden you buy the tickets, if all of a sudden you get, here's your plane itinerary.
Yeah, with Southwest, they're good forever. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
So all right. I'm glad we figured this out.
Yeah.
You're nervous.
No, I'm not nervous at all.
Okay.
None. But, I mean, it doesn't – I'll do whatever he –
That has to feel pretty cool. I know you lived through the Dwayne Wade, but to live through the Dwayne Wade era and talk about him as one of the most special players you could ever watch and have a front row seat for.
Yes.
And then 20 years later, have him think enough of you to give you that invite. That's special.
That is special. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That moment of, holy crap, he wants me to be there. Yeah, I'll be there. I'd do anything for. So that will be way bigger than anything that occurs at the event. Like if I said I couldn't make it or something came up, and I have an excuse I could use if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, that won't change. To know, I mean, I'll always know.
Yep.
He said, and they set up the interview with us. I don't know if that was part of him wanting to do the interview because I wasn't anticipating Dwayne Wade would come on the show to talk about this.
This is a whole thing. They set it up.
They could. I don't know. You'd have to ask Dwayne. But I don't care. All I know is that I will hold forever. It'll be special that he said, I want you there.
That is special.
That's forever.
Forever.
Yes. Everything else that's 100. Everything else starts at 50.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Except for maybe your wedding and the birth of your children.
No, I'm talking about as far as
I'm
going.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes. I don't want to answer that.
I'm not going to ask you to compare them because I'm afraid of the answer. No Ben Brust today. Homer hanging out with us.
It's not even close to any of those things.
I know it's not. Hanging out here with us on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra, live from Summerfest from Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade to future Hall of Famer Giannis. The NBA draft happened last night. Would you trade straight up Giannis for Victor Wembanyama? Talk about it next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
This is what happens when we leave those two together.
What did we do? What
We didn't do anything.
You guys,
I don't know if
We
Ben
got
gets
Aaron
dumber when he
Rodgers'
goes to
number one
Madison or if he
supporter
makes
and
everyone
Brian
dumber.
Gutekunst's number one supporter.
you guys create a super soldier of stupidity over there.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26. The eastbound side of 94, the left lane's blocked. The westbound side, it's off on the left shoulder, still being worked on. So just be extra careful around that area. The rest of the system going to be a bit slow. Southbound 43 going to be slow from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. The northbound side around North Avenue all the way up past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 is going to be heavy from the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer and more humid with a high of 84 at the lakefront, 90 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They talk about everything, but sports always comes first.
I'm not in the Jordan Love sucks camp anymore. I'm going to give the guy a break.
Why?
I'm just going to give him a break.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means
I give no one a break.
I know. I'm just not going to say he sucks anymore.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
I used to say he sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to say he sucks. I'm going to let it.
Pebble, is the Hall of Famer going soft? Does something happen in his life?
Spend your afternoons with Homer and Tony. Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with another Hillsborough Brewing Company beer this time, and we're chatting with the owner, Snapper. What makes Hillsborough Brewing Company different than others? Snapper tells us his secret and shares his favorite brew.
Part of it for me has always been we're just a bunch of blue-collar guys. You'll find me with my tape measure on my hip, walking around the brewery fixing things, and I'm pretty low-key. I really like Blonde Walks Into a Bar. It's one of our lightest beers. It's only about 4.5%. Really easy drinking, very comparable to some of the light beers out there, and it allows me while I'm here at the brewery to have beers and talk to people and not get silly on IPAs and stuff and still make sense at the end of the day.
Thanks again to Snapper, the owner of Hillsborough Brewing Company, for chatting with me about the brewery and his favorite beer. Summer's here, and you know my fridge is stocked, so make sure yours is stocked too.
A disappointing season.
He doesn't get it off. The game is over, and so is the season.
And now, a new direction.
Extremely excited for the next chapter of my life of being the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
What's next for the Bucks? Join Ben Brust and Eric Name on Saturday for special State of the Bucks. They'll recap the season and dive into the offseason ahead. It's the State of the Bucks live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone at Summerfest. Saturday from noon to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN.
The only diamond more valuable than colorless
is the diamond that is colorful. Pink, yellow, and blue.
In 2016, Christie's auction house sold a 14-karat blue diamond for $56 million.
That's $4 million a carat.
In 2022, Sotheby's auction house sold an 11-karat pink diamond for $57 million.
That's more than $5 million a carat.
These diamonds were born when the earth was born.
They come from the heart of the earth.
But now there are also pink, yellow, and blue diamonds that were born when you were falling in love.
These created diamonds come from the fiery heart of a miniature sun blazing inside a plasma chamber. Hot, hot, hot.
Pink, yellow, and blue.
Your colorful 1-carat wonder awaits you for $12,000 or less.
Your colorful 3/4 carat miracle awaits you for $8,000 or less.
Get them while you can. Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Grateful Dead Thursday? Oh, that's terrible. I had to figure out my own way to fall asleep.
You know, we, myself, Josh DiMaggio, and Ben Brust all went to a Dead & Company concert a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're still disrespecting. I wish Homer would have came with us. I will say there is a part of the concert, and because all of us brought our significant others.
Yeah.
There is a part of the concert they call Drums in Spaces, which is pretty much just random noises.
Yeah.
Drum beats and noises like you're in space, and our girlfriends and wives, I would say, weren't thrilled with the excitement level and the energy level.
No, I don't
during
have
that portion
any
of the concert.
problem understanding that people love the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, they're a very popular band.
I'm just not in that group and don't think I ever will be. And I didn't even know that much. I remember the first time I heard it, and I said, people like that much? Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
When do you first remember
Jimmy
hearing the
Buffett.
Grateful Dead?
I don't remember. It just wasn't anything of note. It was like Jimmy Buffett. I mean, there are groups that the fans are insane. I mean, the greatest one I ever experienced was Bruce Springsteen. But then I went to Metallica because my son, they were the same.
Same thing, yep.
Right, so it clearly exists, and I'm just horrible at music, so I'm not bothered by it.
Homer in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. You, the Scalzo Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. I think that the big question for me last night watching the NBA draft, which was awfully slow. I don't know if you put that together. They got to find a way to pick up the pace of the NBA draft. But Victor Wembanyama, the story, obviously, not only the story of the night, the story of the year, talked about as a generational prospect along the lines of LeBron James. Some people could throw Zion into that mix as well. But a 7'4" Frenchman who's been playing professionally, who can shoot, who can handle.
That is huge. He's played against adults for, like 3 years? There's almost no one to compare that with.
Luka might be somebody you could point to and say he played professionally at a really young age.
Has to be a foreigner.
Yep.
He's not playing high school kids.
Yep. Ricky Rubio is another guy that was playing against adults. But
anybody in Europe where when you're, Rafael Nadal signs a shoe deal at 9.
Yes. So. They do things differently.
No, when you're great, they
treat you like it.
Yes.
And so, as I think about the Bucks, and Ben Brust and I talked yesterday, Homer, about what do you do with Chris Middleton? I think the only obvious answer is you bring him back, right, based on the options on the table. But Ben was making the case that, hey, this team right now with Chris Middleton turning 32 years old, Giannis still in the prime of his career, Drew Holiday at 31, like, what do you do to continue to improve the team based on the age and the contracts of those players? So watching all the coverage last night, like, would you trade Giannis straight up for Victor Wembanyama, say, hey, we got the title. Giannis is probably amongst, the 2 or 3 most valuable commodities in the entire league, given his age, his prime, and his level of play. Would you make that deal and hit the reset button? You already answered yes. But
I would.
Get a chance to give an explanation.
But that's based on how great I think he's going to be, and he's significantly younger, so...
So you just reset the window pretty much.
I don't know what I would do after that. You're asking me, I'll deal with whatever I have then. Do I have to reset? I guess I would have to some degree, yeah. because he's so young and he's not going to be good for a while. But
I think he'll be good, but you can't expect to win a championship with him that early on, right?
No.
It just doesn't happen.
Well, no.
Where the best player on your team is that young.
So I have to say that because if I thought the Bucks would win a championship, then you can't do it.
If you don't think the Bucks right now are poised,
well, no, I can't make the trade.
Yeah,
because then I'm saying, well, we'll win one down the road. That means I don't think. If you told me that all four were going to be back, Lopez, Middleton,
Holiday,
and then I wouldn't do it.
But you don't think all four are coming back?
I don't. No. And then, how good are you? The Bucks need to get young. They need to add something young, some firepower there, and you'd like to do it without trading Giannis. But, if all four don't come back, what are you going to do?
It's going to be an adjustment. You're going to have to get creative with the roster, and you're going to have to ultimately take a position on some of these role players and say, hey, is there somebody we can gamble on a little bit more, right? Who's got maybe a higher ceiling but a lower floor? Look for those players and really try to focus on them. Or you need one of these young guys to step up. You need a Marjan to take that next jump. A lot of these great teams, right? You look at the Warriors, like Jordan Poole wasn't a top 10 guy. But they hit on him, and the Bucks haven't had that guy in a while.
They gave up on him fast. It's over. They decided he ain't it, and we'll take
Jordan,
whatever.
After they gave him that contract extension, yes.
Right? I'm saying it didn't take long for them to say this guy's ain't a part of the deal. We'll take whatever we got an old guy because we're not. This guy's not a part of our future.
Yeah, but with Poole, he helped them win that championship last year.
Yes, he did. Yes.
And so you need to be able to, when you've got that many contracts on, you got to find some diamonds in the rough.
Right.
And the Bucks have done that in Bobby and Pat, and from a role player standpoint. Obviously, at some point you want to add something else into the mix. What is that going to be? I wouldn't make the deal for Giannis for Wemby, but it's really close, right? I think it's a really hard equation to calculate. But the sure thing of Giannis, you have a chance every single year right now. He is that guy, as long as he's on your team and he's healthy, to win a championship.
No, you don't. No. One guy doesn't win you a championship.
Sure, but they've been able to capitalize.
You're going to be good, yes. But there's no guarantee of a championship. You just discussed the things that have to occur for them to win.
But I guess I am confident you can have Holiday, you can have Middleton, and I do think they're going to find a way to bring Brook back. I know you don't think they can find a way to get all four back, but I think that could happen. And even if you lose a Brook or lose a Holiday, you have to be able to get creative in terms of what you can do, lose a Middleton. You have to get creative in terms of what you can do to supplement that. But Giannis being that good is going to get you in there. And at some point, how much does the coach make a difference? How much does the culture make a difference? Because you look at that roster for Miami, it's not that great, but they pull it together. They
didn't pull anything together. They got destroyed in the final. You said win a championship. They didn't win a championship.
They've been one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the NBA for the last 4 years.
Okay, I'll tell you the Bucks are going to be that. What's that worth? How many rings they got in Miami? And they ain't getting one until they get better.
Okay, but take that Miami overachievement, right? Take that Miami.
Yeah, nothing.
But add Giannis to the mix, and it would mean everything.
Yeah.
If you had a player like Giannis on that Miami team, even in replacement of Jimmy Butler, he's that much better than anything that they have.
Yeah, so what's your point?
My point is that I don't think it's simply a talent issue in terms of what gets you to a championship.
San Antonio's going to win a title before Miami. Tell you that right now.
Denver doesn't have the most talented roster in the NBA. They won a championship.
They got two. They
got one All-NBA guy. Maybe Jamal Murray is a borderline All-Star, right? And then you've got a couple of good role players in Porter and in Aaron Gordon.
Right.
But they figure it out in a unique way, almost like the Bucks did. They took time, they built a culture, they developed the players, and they developed a system, and it worked out.
Yeah, and Denver's significantly younger than the Bucks.
They're younger than the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're saying just hit the reset button on it.
No, I'm open to anything, but I'm saying there's no guarantee that that because you have Giannis, you're going to win a title. It takes more than that.
My point is the presence of Giannis allows you to be one of the top teams in the league to be able to ultimately do that.
Yeah, plus we haven't addressed the issue of getting him to sign an extension. That's the most important thing. Everything else is secondary.
I tend to agree, and I think the Bucks tend to agree with that as well, and that's the right way to think. On Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, Josh, he polled it. Would you trade Giannis straight up for Victor Wembanyama? 94% of the Scalzo and Brust family says no. 6% says yes. That was predictable, right?
Yeah, everybody loves Giannis, and they should.
And and I think that, again, I don't think it's as easy as that. To me, it's a 55-45 decision in my brain.
I mean, I just hate to have anything negative about Giannis, but given the difference in the ages, which of the two is going to win a championship next?
Agreed. I would still bet on Giannis as far as which of the two, and I'm confident enough that the Bucks will be able to bring him back. But I think if you are playing if you're talking to somebody who is looking straight at the numbers, right, and taking all emotion out of it and taking all consideration of the organizations out of it, the fact that you're right, you have to accomplish an extension for Giannis in order to extend that window. He's got 2 years right now under contract with the Bucks, and the age and potential of Wembanyama, I think that the pure math would tell you that that's probably a better play.
And the Bucks made incredible decisions on Middleton, incredible decisions on Holiday, incredible decision on Lopez, all of which worked out as great as they could have hoped, if not better. But they're getting old.
Joshy, what say you? If you had to take one or the other in terms of trading Giannis for Wemby, what would you do?
I probably stick with Giannis just because it's more of a sure thing. It's more solid for team building. I am a little bit concerned just about injuries curtailing Wembanyama's career at such a young age. Now, I do think if he lasts, he's going to be great, and I'd probably regret it. But when you're building a team, you can't really risk that much without having some sort of certainty on the other end with someone like him.
800-990 ESPN, 800-990-3776. We want to hear from you. Wemby or Giannis. Plus, we'll hit some 1 or zeros next. Live from Summerfest, it is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
And this is my song, by the way, that you like, Joshy.
Yeah, after we picked on you, I've decided to brighten you up a little bit.
You know what? Thank you. And this song is called Brighter Days. So now I'm feeling brighter. And you know what? We got off to a weird start. Vibes were down, but I'm feeling great.
Vibes weren't down. You just had a bad segment.
You just ruined it.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust. Presented by Michelob.
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26. The eastbound side of 94, the left lane's blocked. The westbound side, it's off on the left shoulder, still being worked on. So just be extra careful around that area. The rest of the system going to be a bit slow. Southbound 43 going to be slow from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust, the northbound side, around North Avenue all the way up past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 is going to be heavy from the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 storm team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer and more humid with a high of 84 at the lakefront, 90 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's a battle for NL Central bragging rights. Brewers, Cubs, Monday, July 3rd through Thursday, July 6th. Help defend American Family Field during this year's edition of the I-94 rivalry and celebrate the 4th of July at the ballpark, where kids and seniors can score half-price seats, courtesy of WPS Health Insurance. See the schedule and grab your seats today at brewers.com/promotions.
Welcome to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 9 windows, please. I'm hoping they'll match my home.
Have it your way.
Excuse me? We're talking about windows, right?
Yes. Pella's design options are virtually limitless. even more customized than your coffee.
So you're like my personal barista for windows and doors.
Exactly. And if you customize your order by August 31st, you can bundle and save big.
Good deal.
Get started today at PalletWI.com.
Even when you think you know what's going on,
Can you make a good horse sound?
you can never be too sure.
So the answer is no.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
Also, when you were kids, you used to learn how to do the thing. I'm going to put the microphone down by my lap here. It's not inappropriate. It's just what I have to do. Where you learn this thing, right?
What in the world are you doing?
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Show your Brewers pride everywhere you go with Brewers Checking, only from Associated Bank. Score exclusive perks like a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, even express check-in at the Associated Bank gate. And if you want a VIP game day, the Associated Bank Power Alley is for everyone. Contact the Brewers ticket office to learn how you could treat your crew to a full buffet and private bar overlooking left center field. Brewers Checking. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Brewers today. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust at the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone at Summerfest on 94.5 ESPN.
We are live at Summerfest right now. The big gig. No Ben Brust. Instead, we got big time Homer.
Yeah, where is he?
That's your cousin sub.
I mean, we don't know. Do you even know?
Benny is going to be, I don't know when the broadcast is. He's taping for the Rally TV show on Bally Sports.
Okay.
So he's in Chicago doing a taping for that.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know. I'm guessing it airs tonight, right, Joshy?
I haven't the
but
faintest
I think he
idea.
tapes it before it actually airs. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure it'll be all over social and on social clips and whatnot. But he's doing Benny Bright Lights right now with the TV.
Yeah.
Josh DiMaggio running the show along with Colin Russo at the Everlight Solar Studios downtown off the Capitol Square in Madison. Josh, let's get to some 1 or 0s.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0.
He is Homer of Homer and Tony, weekdays 2 to 4, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. I am Greg Scalzo. We're your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. He asks us a question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Joshy, take it away.
Last night, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul began calling teams in the second round and requesting they not draft his client Chris Livingston, who is now a member of the Bucks due to a draft promise they received during the process. 1 or 0. You would listen to Rich Paul if he told you not to draft a player you wanted.
I mean, 1, but it's probably indicative of some larger problems within the NBA and the amount of power that the agents has, particularly Rich Paul, who, if you're unfamiliar, came up with LeBron and really runs Clutch Sports and sort of, with LeBron, acquired a heck of a lot of power in the NBA. but for a second-round pick, it's just not something that you want to that's worth potentially irking a guy with that sort of power in the league.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's a second-round pick. They throw him away like a piece of grass. All right, we've traded. We have no second-round picks for the next 100 years. We'll give you 50 second-round picks. There's a reason to pick a fight with somebody that important. A second-round pick ain't ever going to be that important.
Second-round pick, I think, is what, 20% of Jay Crowder?
Yeah. Other than the fact that
they got up 5 for him.
Yes, yeah. You want 10? How many can we do?
A slew of recent studies have found that taking a nap has real benefits for work productivity, creativity, and memory. In fact, some employers are now installing nap pods, sleep rooms, and other spaces dedicated to power naps. 1 or 0. You would be able to take a nap while at work.
0, I don't think. I don't think I would be. Like, I'm not a good napper. I'm not a good sleeper in general. I've been a really bad sleeper lately, Homer. But I think from a nap standpoint, like, I generally, when I do it, I don't wake up clear-headed and ready to go. It takes me a little while to get myself going again. I understand others might be different in that respect and understand the importance of sleep, but I'm not a nap guy. I don't think I support napping at work either.
The whole premise is pathetic because this has existed for a long time, but generally the belief was you don't need to do that till you're 60. The first time I heard of it was George Hallis, Papa Bear Hallis, who apparently took a half-hour power nap at like 2 to 2:30. I'm pretty sure he didn't start until, I never knew he existed until he was older than 60 because it's how old he was. But I think for old people, yes, I can sleep at any point, at any time, 24 hours of the day. And
have you always been like that? Or
no, hell
with
no.
age?
It's pathetic. Of course it's with age. Or who knows why? No.
I feel like there's some people now, like even when they're young, who have a who could sleep absolutely anywhere, absolutely anytime.
Maybe, but I didn't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the idea is good, but it's existed forever, but only for people over 50 or 60, and to suggest it for young people. If I was young, I'd be embarrassed if I needed a nap at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's such an epic loser.
Yeah.
You need a nap? What is your problem? So I guess that means a 0 no.
Yeah, that's fair. Made that clear. Last night, Shams tweeted that Scoot Henderson is gaining serious momentum at the number 2 pick, which caused many books to pull the bet, except for FanDuel, where people flooded to bet Scoot at 2nd overall. Henderson was eventually drafted 3rd, despite Shams, a FanDuel employee's tweet. 1 or 0. Members of the media shouldn't be employed by sportsbooks.
I'm a 0 there, but I think if you are a trusted source of news, there needs to be some element of oversight on that. Because whether this is a coincidence or not, it was a boondoggle for FanDuel. And if you've got a guy like Shams, who not only reported, is one of the top reporters along with Woj in the NBA, but was literally the reporter that first got to Trump having COVID, like he was the guy to break that story. He's looked at as somebody whose information is accurate. For him to sway the books as he did and have his employer benefit as much as he does, I do think there's a problem there. Now, you've got other guys, Mike Golick Jr. on draft. Nobody's trusting what he says as an actual report. That's fine if he's employed by a gambling company like that. But I think if you're a newsbreaker and a trusted source, I don't know what the oversight is, but I think they got to figure it out.
Well, it's like Barkley. Those guys do it all the time. Do you give them any credibility? The answer is no. This individual, people did. And they won't anymore.
Well, especially day of the draft, right? Because you feel like if he says that 3 weeks before, hey, I've got him in my mock draft there, that's one thing. But when you're doing I think part of the problem is that Woj and Shams and Schefter and these newsbreakers, during the actual drafts, position their tweets as if looks like Scoot Henderson is heading here, and it always plays out 100%. So when you have those same guys doing that early in the day when the books are open, it almost feels like it's a report.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have my own views on Schefter and Wojnarowski that I've said. Like, he made some comment recently about, I'd have to look what I wrote it down. That the Houston Rockets are a real threat for Chris Middleton. And my answer is, I don't believe anything when he says that. But when he says something happened, it happened because I believe he gets information from either the league. I think Passan is the same in baseball. Schefter is the same in the NFL. You can't be perfect every time. But when you're asking an opinion and separate of this, like, hey, this team's interested in this, I don't think, first of all, he doesn't do it very often at all. And second of all, then it's an entirely different process. But with all this stuff, I just want to look to England. They've had this, they've had legalized gambling for years and years. How do they handle this stuff?
But do the books actually have employed media?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So whether they do or don't, that's something to me you have to be careful with. Now, in general on these things, they usually have limits on them. Like, you can only bet so much.
Sure.
So I don't think they really care that much, and it's not that big a deal to them. But, as far as the individual, all right, like, I'm getting paid. What do you expect me to do? What am I, if I'm getting paid a ton, then
you just wonder if the league takes an investigation into it and just says, like, is the book telling Shams to say this, or is Shams sourcing this,
right,
in a legitimate way? And with these leagues being so protective around gambling, whether it's players, whether it's how information gets out, all that stuff, I do think at some point this could potentially present a problem, because you could report a significant injury day of and say, Aaron Rodgers not expected to start for the Jets, have different books pull their line, and then all of a sudden get people to jump the other way because they think, I got it on FanDuel, and next thing you know, Aaron Rodgers actually plays. It's a really gray area, but
to me the answer is easy if they want to do it. You can't do it in your sport. Like, the NFL says they won't allow all the players to gamble. It's stupid. They can't bet on the NFL. Anything else. So you would have this individual hired by FanDuel. Well, he can't talk about NBA stuff. He can do any other sport.
Sure.
Fine. And if that's not good enough, then, they've got a million bets going all the time. They can have other people do it. But I think it would be understandable for those people to say, you can do it, but you can't give suggestions. So they can go ahead and report whatever they want, but they're not employed, or if they're employed, they can't comment on NBA stuff, or they've got to, because that's to me, and I go back to England, all the football, they call them soccer players, all bet. One guy said he lost like 500,000 pounds betting on a cricket game. Well, my assumption is you can bet on everything but, for them, football. That's the way it should be here, and this stuff has been going on over there for, 100 years?
Forever.
Now,
Yes.
It's different with FanDuels and stuff because you now have 100 bets that you can make, but it's still the same thing. I think that, when you have NFL reporters, and I think their involvement, and in terms of FanDuels and stuff, the league should say you can be employed, but you can't give tips on NFL stuff. I mean,
they got to figure something out.
Right.
You have to. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Homer in for Ben Brust. We're hanging out at Summerfest. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Daniel, the official, unofficial landscaping sloth of the Scalzo and Brust family, says, I am 35 and take an hour nap for lunch, but I'm also up at 3:30 to 4 a.m. every day and work until 7:30 or 8 at night, and in bed by 10 or 11 p.m. most nights, so a nap is crucial for me.
Yeah, well, you're working that many, then.
He's a.
How many hours does he say he's working there? Add all those up.
All right, so 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's 14 hours. Hour nap in the middle. That's
16 hours. 4 to 8.
4 a.m. to
8 p.m.
Oh yes, that is 16. So he's got 15 hours minus 1 hour for the nap.
Yeah, he needs a nap.
He's putting up a lot of stone walls.
You working 16 hours a day?
Yes.
I mean, my prep is 16 hours a day, but.
The official, unofficial landscaper, hardworking guy.
16 hours a day, year round?
He does, I believe, plow in the wintertime, yes. He's a worker. But, Josh, does that surprise you that he's a napper in the middle of the day?
No, he usually sounds like he's napping, but I'm glad he gets a little nap to get himself a little bit of energy.
Yeah, he needs to. On Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, would you trade Giannis straight up for Victor Wembanyama? We'll talk about those results in yesterday's poll. Would you take psychedelics with Aaron Rodgers if he offered you? I want to see what Homer has to say about that.
Hell yes! Let's go!
Scalzo and Brust, live from Summerfest.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
I can't believe it. You're criminals.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. The big gig is back.
Everybody's happy. Summerfest is back. The weather is perfect.
And so are we at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone.
I think I got in trouble for talking to people. They said I was mean.
Tune in every weekday to Homer and Tony and Scalzo and Brust, who will be broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone all throughout Summerfest.
Greg Scalzo is here! Hey! 1 minute late.
What I just did was miraculous.
Oh, here we go.
Stop by, say hi, and win prizes all Summerfest long with 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at discount liquor.
It's the world's largest music festival, and you'll be there compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. There is no other party like Summerfest. Stop in and receive a free Summerfest ticket when you purchase 2 12-packs of 16-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light cans, or 1 12-pack any Vizzy Hard Seltzer or Arnold Palmer spiked half and half. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and in Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
See us for your free Summerfest ticket and check out our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
The workplace has changed a lot thanks to technology, and more recently, the shift to a flexible or remote schedule. Your business must adapt to maintain a great culture, attracting quality candidates and keeping them. You need Smart Spaces. The team of interior integrators at Smart Spaces brings creativity and expertise, assessing the walls, ceiling, lighting, flooring, furniture, and audiovisual systems to create places that matter in the modern world, fully functional for those in the building and for others to interact remotely. Get started today at smartspaceswi.com.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sunday Night Baseball hits the City of Angels this week for a 2017 World Series rematch.
There's a shot to left and deep, headed toward the Dodger bullpen. Is gone. Mookie Betts is on a tear.
It's Dodgers hosting the Astros in L.A.
Left field, deep and gone. Minute Maid erupts with Bregman's 5th grand slam of his career.
Our coverage starts Sunday night at 5, right here on Milwaukee's home for the biggest MLB games of the week, 94.5 ESPN.
The year is almost half over, and you are still dealing with that knee or hip pain? Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them right into your achy joint, so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary, and it's right here in Milwaukee. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, you need to stop what you're doing right now and call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Baby, I feel we're close enough. I
Summerfest. No Ben Brust. Instead, we got Homer of the Dwayne Wade VIP Hall of Fame group joining us. Homer and Tony, weekdays 2 to 4.
What do you think's going to happen? Come on, you mentioned that.
Milwaukee.
What do you think's going to happen?
I don't think you're going to be eating breakfast with him and his family, but I think you're going to be like a part of the collective group. He's got to have, 25, 30 people that he's kind of has in his group coming
Way more than that.
50 people, 100 people.
Yes.
And I think you're going to be a part of that group.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to be sitting on the other side of the room and completely unaffiliated. As Homer yesterday on Homer and Tony was invited personally by Dwayne Wade to join him for his Hall of Fame celebration in beautiful Springfield, Massachusetts. So that it's going to be a special.
I've got Homer in a PJ.
You think Homer's in a private jet?
Yeah, might as well just swing by on their way in. Milwaukee's along the way. They can stop, pick up Homer, and he'll jump in and be on his way to Massachusetts with them.
No. But that's nice. I mean, no.
Either that, or you get lumped in with the Marquette folks that are coming out there, you know, and you get put into that camp. As I'm sure there's going to be representatives, obviously in Miami from the Heat that are there, and a whole lot of people throughout his life. 800-990.
Well, he will make sure, like I said, that all his teammates
get the invite,
get everything.
Like all of his teammates from college through his NBA career?
No. His college.
Oh, his college.
Yes,
teammates.
he has a bond with his college teammates.
All right, so maybe you get on the PJ with those guys on out, you know?
No.
Will Homer be within arm's reach of LeBron at any point during the weekend?
Yes. I think there will be a point where his shoulders are literally rubbing.
I vote no on that as well.
LeBron James.
I vote no on that as well. But no, he's that. All the members of his team at Marquette will get everything times 10. He would do, there's no point which is too far for him to be a part with that group.
It's awesome. It's a tremendous sign of his character, you know? I look forward to continuing to hear about how the planning of all of this is going. I do want to ask you, yesterday on Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, we posted the poll asking if Aaron Rodgers offered to do psychedelics with you and offered you psychedelics, would you do it with him? And 56% of the family said no, 56% said no, 44% said yes. Homer, you answered right away and said, of course.
Yes. Well, I'm fascinated with this stuff because I think there's some legitimacy to it. Now, the way he's handled it, he's such a jerk. It's just not. I mean, I'm not mentioning his name on the show. Tony wouldn't agree. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to do anything.
Is it because you think he's doing this for attention?
I don't care why he's doing it, but the fact that he could take something and be helpful with so many people that I have an interest in terms of the value of this stuff. That he could say, I don't want to get in a fight. I just think the opportunities to help people in various different ways that they've mentioned, and there's studies of it, that I want people to think it, to realize that I think it's legit and I think they should explore it. The former governor of Texas has kind of done and is part of this group or whatever.
Rick Scott?
Yeah, he presents it in a way that, like, just go away. Your ability to help has now somehow been lost, and now you're just alienating people who you could benefit in terms of stuff that I'm assuming you believe in and could help.
Oh, yes, and I do think it's interesting. You could obviously tell it was a publicity play to have him at the conference. And
yes.
You wonder because, and I said it yesterday on the air, I wrote my final college paper on the ethics of psychedelics in medical research.
Yeah, great paper.
And
you're the expert. Go ahead, talk.
Well, when it was based off of this idea that a long time ago, before it was outlawed during the Nixon administration, that you had significant research talking about its effect on depression, on PTSD, on other mental health orders, and particularly on addiction. And the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous was a proponent of LSD in order to help people overcome their addictions. Now, do I think that all of those studies were perfectly done? No. Some of the most famous ones were done at Harvard, where the researchers were doing the drugs with the patients, and maybe there's a small halo effect on there.
Small, right?
But the overall element of it is this is something that significantly alters your mind. You could find a way to potentially use that for good in a medical way. But Aaron even him talking about it, like, yes, we've got some sound of him talking about the people who speak out against it are the ones that need to use it. He sounds like Timothy Leary in the early 70s, like tune in, drop out. He sounds a little too far one way.
Because I guarantee you, all these bums who want to, come after me online about my experience and stuff, they've never tried it. They're the perfect people for it. We need to get these people taking it. Yep.
Shut up. What? It's just so mean. Like you're bothered or surprised that people would be this way? The answer is I know people are going to be this way, and they're not bums. They're like, well, you just want to say they're bums? It's like when Reggie White, when they won the championship, and he had this hamstring that he couldn't play, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. And I referred to it as a born-again hamstring and said, hey, so he calls my house. And my wife answers and then says, it's Reggie White. What did you say this time? And he goes, people are making fun of my faith and stuff like that, and I can't believe you'd participate. I said, Reggie, they didn't believe him when he was here. Why would it make you think they're going to believe you? It comes with the territory, so you can't be mad at these people. You have to. The same way with Rogers. I would say to him, shut up. We don't want you to say anything about psychedelics anymore. Go away. All you do is make it worse. Why do you irritate people by saying bums? Explain to me the stupidity of that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I understand the
Go away.
I think this is his next career. I think in the same way Tom Brady got into the nutrition and health and TB12 and carries that as sort of his next big thing, and now he's got a clothing line that's supposed to help you sleep better, all that stuff. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go into this spirituality, enlightenment, chakras. I think this is his next path. This is his next career.
Fine. If the joy you get is in calling other people bums and being irritated, like they're the ones that should take it, like, just go away. For those people that are curious and feel like it could help, they should all tell them, just go away. Just go away. Find something else. Find a belief that hot dogs are going to save the world. Find out whatever you want. We don't want you in our group. You cause more pain than assistance.
Homer,
and make that a 1 and 0.
Josh, you get that on the list. You made mention that your wife, when Reggie White called you, said, what did you say this time?
Yes.
What other phone calls did you get at your house for things that you said?
No, it was that people periodically would, I think, come to go, can you believe what your husband said? You know that he said this or that. But no famous person ever called other than Reggie White.
He was the one.
It
was only that one time.
It was only that one time, yes. But it was other times she may have been like, people would never come up to her and say this or that. Just come up and say, can you believe what you're... She goes, of course not, because I never listened. So I wouldn't know that he said that. So...
Homer joining us, your cousin sub of the day in place of Ben Brust. We're hanging out here at Summerfest in the Gruber Lofts, the Sports Zone. Josh DiMaggio, Colin Russo running the show. I'm Greg Scalzo. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Talk a little bit about what this wide receiver group looks like for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
If you feel like they need a veteran wide receiver, because that's word on the street, I don't think I'm down with that.
Wow.
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26. The eastbound side of 94, the left lane's blocked. The westbound side, it's off on the left shoulder, still being worked on. So just be extra careful around that area. The rest of the system going to be a bit slow. Southbound 43 going to be slow from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. The northbound side around North Avenue all the way up past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 is going to be heavy from the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer and more humid with a high of 84 at the lakefront, 90 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with another Hillsborough Brewing Company beer this time, and we're chatting with the owner, Snapper. What makes Hillsborough Brewing Company different than others? Snapper tells us his secret and shares his favorite brew.
Part of it for me has always been we're just a bunch of blue-collar guys. Just, you'll find me with my tape measure on my hip, walking around the brewery fixing things, and I'm pretty low-key. I really like Blonde Walks Into a Bar. It's one of our lightest beers. It's only about 4.5%. Really easy drinking, very comparable to some of the light beers out there, and it allows me, while I'm here at the brewery, to have beers and talk to people and not get silly on IPAs and stuff and still make sense at the end of the day.
Thanks again to Snapper, the owner of Hillsborough Brewing Company, for chatting with me about the brewery and his favorite beer. Summer's here, and my fridge is stocked, so make sure yours is stocked too.
Hey, Greg Scalzo here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust. Woo! Presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Scalzo and Brust live from Summerfest on a beautiful Friday. No Ben Brust today. Homer, your cousin sub of the day. You hear him and Tony Smith every day on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee from 2 to 4 as he joins us here today. Josh DiMaggio running the show along with Colin Russo. And as we transition from Aaron Rodgers on psychedelics to this,
the maddest I've ever been at him today.
This is?
Yeah.
Why?
Because what he did with psychedelics, and I have an interest because some of what they talk about would benefit our son. And so I think here you have somebody, it's always people that haven't lived it don't realize how tough it is. And then you have something that could potentially help, and it would change just, And here's somebody who I've thought is smart and could help and increase the understanding that this should be explored, and he just screws it up. Just go away. Go away.
Do you still think, and Joshy, as I ask this question, I'd love for you to pull up that spelling quote for us. Do you still think Aaron Rodgers, who we've all hailed, is the smartest guy in the room, and Wildy still says in every room he walks into he's the smartest guy. Right. Do you still look at Aaron Rodgers and say, he's a smart guy? Because Josh DiMaggio yesterday called him a baby brain.
They can be both. I think he's very smart, and I also think that he loves the fight. And so you wonder how anybody that smart could act in such a stupid manner, and the answer is because he just wants to. He's always wants to. And I really think I wish that the Packers, when they thought about drafting a quarterback, knew that would make him mad, and they go, it doesn't matter. He's mad about something. Might as well be this. He's always mad about something, and it's mad about something is one thing, but creating a fight is another thing, and that. I think that's the answer.
Joshy, let's hear the spelling quote, please.
The quote reads, words are interesting. They have such power in their spells. There's a reason it's called spelling, because the way that the letters are put together have such power.
That's the guy we talk about as being the smartest guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be nice if he would explain it. I would assume that there's some explanation for it that may exist, but
he's implying there's a magical relationship between the word spelling and how there's magic in the way words are put together literally and how they're spelled. So he's talking about nothing, Homer.
Maybe. I mean, I'll give him the opportunity to give more explanation as to whatever that theory is. I mean, everybody's thinking, dude clearly came up with that after hed been
during. I would say during. He might have wrote that down in his journal when he was on the bus. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. It's amazing talking to people in and around that Packers building in terms of how just the energy has shifted, in terms of how Coach LaFleur is operating, how the younger guys. It's just a different vibe, as it would be anywhere when the center of your building is gone, right?
Well, no, it's simple. We had to put up with his crap.
But it was worth it for so many years because he was that good.
Yes. And I think this is the part that would irritate me if I was him, because I don't think it ever affected how committed he was to the team, how badly he wanted to win. So in any premise by the people there that, he'd kind of lost, whatever, I think if I was him, would irritate me totally. That I'd get out of here. You can't be that stupid. So I think that there were parts that were difficult to deal with. But in general, I mean, most of his teammates talk about you want to be a good teammate. Dwayne Wade talked about that. What he's most proud of was a good teammate. I think Aaron Rodgers has been a good teammate.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's above all that other stuff. And they went like, hey, why did they put up with it? One, because he was a great player. And I think you judge on the other players, the complaints of some wide receivers. But most players act like he was a good teammate. Maybe weird, whatever word they want to say, but they know good and bad teammates. So they won because he was very good, and he was a good teammate aside from the other BS.
Yeah, look, I just think when you have him gone and you've got this much youth in the locker room, it's going to feel different, right? And, they're all friends, and they all hang out, and they did the boat trip.
We'll see how they feel. They lose some games.
That's what's going to be interesting is once you hit this season. Now, there's a big narrative right now that this Packers team should be bringing in a veteran wide receiver, right? They don't have a single wide receiver on their roster who's played more than one full season in the NFL. Field Yates of ESPN talks about Jarvis Landry, the former Dolphin, Brown, Patriot. Where was he even before all of those? I feel like he's played for 5 or 6 teams. Former LSU Tiger to be that veteran wide receiver. I personally don't understand the need to bring in a veteran wide receiver because I don't think that this is a team that's being built to win now. And I think I'd rather see as much youth on the field as possible and test as many guys out as possible and let them grow into what they're going to be without being blocked because you're not playing for 2023 in my mind if you're the Packers. You're playing for 2024.
I mean, I'll defer to players, but there's always the benefit of having veterans at any position. It was like wide receiver. I mean, you talk to Tausch, and the veterans can teach you kind of what it's like to be a pro and stuff like that. And to have one of them doesn't seem to me to be. Yeah, I think you'd like to have a vet in every group.
But I guess if you're going to sign a Jarvis Landry, why not just keep Randall Cobb?
That would fine.
Yes. But to me, it still doesn't. Does a veteran add that much at your specific position?
Yes, I think it does, because you talk about all these players that talk about the benefit of veterans. Now, the difference is it used to be easy because you had to get a veteran that Rodgers would like. You don't know which veteran would be best the way Jordan Love plays, but the benefit of having they do it at every position. You never have all young guys, even if it's a backup.
Sure you do.
I mean, how many... Let's look at how many.
Maybe if it's not the backups. I think of like the Cincinnati Bengals, who had 3 extremely young wide receivers, and Higgins and Jamar Chase, and Boyd.
Did they have a veteran wide receiver?
I don't know the depth chart beyond those top three guys for the Cincinnati Bengals off the top of my head. I understand the premise, but again, I don't care if they're good right now.
No, it's about having veterans to help young players.
But you had Watson and Dobbs and Torrey. They were with veterans last year. They were with Lazard, and they were with Cobb. How many years do you need to realistically learn from a veteran in order to get that?
Again, I just go by, it seems everybody has veterans. There's a benefit to having veterans. And with young wide receivers, to me, there would be a benefit. Yeah, Randall Cobb would have been fine.
Does it need to be the right veteran, though?
Yeah.
I mean, then you're just bringing in a coach. I might as well just go and say, hey, let's get an assistant wide receivers coach who's just fresh out of the league. Hey, Larry Fitzgerald, although he's probably making way more money doing media than he would be as the wide receiver coach. But, hey, why don't you, all-time great, come and teach these guys how you did it?
I mean, I'll defer to players on this as well. But, you know, if you're a younger player, you'd have more respect for somebody that actually is doing it. Otherwise, you'd say, why don't you just be a coach? But I think, I mean, you follow, everybody talks about the importance of having some veterans, right? Yeah. So this is.
Yeah, but I think about the importance of having a veteran.
Well, if you're an offensive lineman, everybody was a young offensive lineman. Would you see the benefit of having a veteran there?
Maybe, but you're also talking about you're having to play 5 of them at once, not 2 or 3 of them at once.
Well, but you got, I mean, how many wide receivers? You got like 4 and
I guess
tight
at
ends.
times, yes. And
I mean, they're using more of them all the time.
I understand the idea of what that benefit would be. I don't know if there is a veteran that would get me excited enough. Like, just to me, let those guys go out and play. The value of a veteran is can they help me win now, not necessarily developing those guys moving forward. We don't know if Jarvis Landry is going to get done with practice and go right home, or if he's going to sit there and help teach him. Like, not everybody is what Charles Woodson was for that secondary when he was in Green Bay. To me, he was the consummate. Every young player that was in that locker room was talking about how Charles was there teaching them, but he's a Hall of Famer. We don't know Jarvis Landry, and not to pick on him, but some of these veterans, like, you don't know how much they're going to make.
I agree. Yes, there's all those things will be factored in, and again, I understand that it's probably more difficult now when you benefited from somebody knowing what Rodgers was going to want from his players. Nobody knows exactly what Jordan Love wants, so that particular wish is different. So I don't. I mean, when they generally add a name, they usually try to add a name from somebody who can still do something.
It is true.
And that part I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, I'm willing to accept whatever LaFleur thinks. If LaFleur is happy with no vets, then fine.
But none of it has to do with LaFleur because it's Goody picking the players, and he doesn't care what LaFleur thinks.
Again, in general, yes, but I think if LaFleur thinks it's that important,
he would fight for it.
Well, yeah, and it's like, they already gave Rodgers, Cobb, so, I don't think it's life or death. If it was life or death, I would like to think that LaFleur would go, like, Goody sees the benefit of veteran players at various positions.
Of course. But there's 5 players over 28 on this team?
It might. I mean, if it comes down to what you're saying, screw it. Let's just see them give and go. Then, fine. Then you don't need a vet, right? If you want them to figure it out on their own, then you don't need a vet.
Well, there's going to be a little pressure on Jason Vrabel, the wide receivers coach there, to get them ready.
That's the kind of thing, to me, that you ask Jason in terms of being around it, of
how much it impacts.
Right, because the young players, we know what they're going to say. We don't need that.
Well, tight end, too. I mean, you've got Josiah DeGuara, but he's in, year 3 or 4?
Right.
He's not a vet, per se, and
No.
he hasn't had success to where you'd say, oh, do what he does.
Right.
I do want to give a shout-out to Gina Della, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We're right next to a wonderful picture of Gina on the 620 WTMJ trailer here at Summerfest. And there's nobody better when it comes to replacing windows and doors than Gina Della and the entire team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, working on a project with Joe Franco right now. And they are like your own personal barista for windows and doors. Their design options are virtually limitless. More customized than your coffee. Wood windows and patio doors can be painted, stained, or left bare there to complement your unique home decor. And the team there is so consultative. When Joe comes out to my place, he's looking at the house. He says, I think this hardware would be better. What do you like about this? What do you like about that? There's so many options. It will blow your mind. Plus, the quality is amazing. They stand the test of time. It's why Pella offers the best wood warranty in the industry. So bundle and save when you customize your order by August 31st. Get started. PellaWI.com/radio. PellaWI.com/radio, or stop by their experience centers in Brookfield or on the Beltline.
I have a question for you.
Madison. Yeah.
How many wins for the Packers this year?
I'll say I'm between 7 and 8.
Okay.
I'm right between 7. I think they could win anywhere, though, between 6 and 10. Like, I would be more surprised on one or the other end, but I do think that if the first 4 games of the season go well, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do. Because those first 4 games are very winnable, and then you hit the bye.
Okay. It comes down to your number, though.
First 5 games.
Come on, I mean, that's nice. That's nice. But you told me what you think. Like, you got to pick a number. Your number is around 7. So even if they did win the 4, you either think that's not going to happen, or if it happens, they could still win only 7.
No, I think they can win more than 7 is my point. But I think they could also start off 1 and 4.
Right.
And I think they're going to start off like 2 and 3 or 3 and 10. I think they're going to be in a lot of close games. I don't know how many they're going to be able to actually win. It all has to do with how good Jordan Love is. And I don't think Packers fans should judge this season in terms of how many wins they have. It's how good is Jordan Love. That's the win and the loss for the 2023 season.
But if everybody's for the second straight year talking about how good the defense is, or could be, that changes things, because then you don't need your quarterback to be as good.
Yeah, but
I'm not in that club. I don't know who's in. But if they actually think that, then Barry should have been fired after last year, or any defensive coordinator. If you think they were that good last year, what makes you think it's going to change? Other than just that they're young.
Especially when Rashawn Gary remains injured, who's your pass rusher. Not just your best. He is your pass rusher.
So whatever you thought of last year, and you were dramatically wrong, now that guy, we don't know how many games he's going to play. What do you think? Half
the season, maybe.
Right,
but you still don't expect him to come back and have the same burst in his first return. Maybe in 24 he comes back to full form.
So then it's my own question. Upon what do you base it? Because we've been through this with a guy who turned out to be a legendary quarterback, and he won only 6 games his first year. Yeah. And they had a better, or as good an all-around team. Maybe better, I would say.
Yeah, but you knew watching that first in 08. Yes. Nobody said, is Rodgers the guy?
It's true.
You knew he was the guy.
Yes.
And if you know Love is the guy, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll come back. We'll go pole dancing at Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra, live from Summerfest.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Craziness of Ben Brust. I apologize for even being the slightest bit surprised. I should be beyond that.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26. The eastbound side of 94, the left lane's blocked. The westbound side, it's off on the left shoulder, still being worked on. So just be extra careful around that area. The rest of the system going to be a bit slow. Southbound 43 going to be slow from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. The northbound side around North Avenue all the way up past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 is going to be heavy from the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer and more humid with a high of 84 at the lakefront, 90 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Football guy.
I don't care how irritated you are that Jesse did that. The fact that it led to your imitation of me is more than sufficient payoff.
Football guy.
It's you.
Coming at it from different views.
Girls! I didn't know that I did that, but I guess I do.
Go to the grocery store. We'll stop at Fleet Farm.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What if in 1968 the mayor said nope to Summerfest? How many bands would you have never seen? Would hitting 12 stages in one day even be possible? Thankfully, 55 years ago, Summerfest was a yes. Milwaukee Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance. Find tickets and lineup at summerfest.com.
Welcome to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 9 windows, please. I'm hoping they'll match my home.
Have it your way.
Excuse me? We're talking about windows, right?
Yes. Pella's design options are virtually limitless, even more customized than your coffee.
So you're like my personal barista for windows and doors.
Exactly. And if you customize your order by August 31st, you can bundle and save big.
Good deal.
Get started today at PellaWI.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
On June 27th, it's the University of Wisconsin versus the University of Minnesota, but in a charity golf outing called the Battle for the Crystal Axe at Lac La Belle in Economowoc. Coach Fickle and 15 current Badgers athletes will be in attendance representing Wisconsin, along with Gophers players and pros from the Minnesota Vikings and Minnesota Wild. There will be a silent and live auction with prizes, including a pontoon cruise with Coach Fickle and some of his staff, all to raise money for 2 great Wisconsin and Minnesota charities. Learn more at crystalaxe.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Oh, I thought I had you on hold. I thought I had you on hold.
Summerfest on a beautiful Friday across ESPN Wisconsin. No Ben Brust today. Homer, your cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. I'm Greg Scalzo. You, the Scalzo Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. The only poll we've posted from today. Would you trade Giannis straight up for Victor Wembanyama, the number 1 overall pick last night by the San Antonio Spurs? 89% of the
89?
family says no. 11% says yes. Casey says he'd have to ink a 12-year deal prior to making that trade, which I think is a fair qualifier.
I agree. Yep.
Some people not thrilled with the poll. That's okay. We'll talk about some other polls. We're going pole dancing next on Scalzo and Brust.
They've got questions, and we've got answers. Time to give the people what they want. Let's go pole dancing on Scalzo and Brust. Brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway. A quarter-mile-long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at GreatLakesDragaway.com.
Every week we go up and down the dial, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, to all of our fellow shows, all of our fellow hosts, to the questions they themselves couldn't answer, the polls they needed to post, and we say, you know what? We'll help answer that for you. Joshy, what do we have this week?
Let's start off here with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, which you can hear 7 to 9 a.m. on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Would you rather be called stupid or a moron? Stupid, 57%. Moron, 43.
I think I'd rather be called a moron.
Really?
Yeah, like a moron seems so much more throwaway. Like, you're a moron versus like you being like, hey, you're stupid. It just sounds more personal.
I think moron is a high-level stupid.
Okay.
I mean, what's the worst kind of stupid you can be called? Idiot?
Dunce?
Yeah. But moron's tough.
Moron's tough. I just feel like it's used more as a throwaway. Yeah, but like you could do something just kind of stupid, and I could be like, you're an idiot. But me being like, you're stupid, I don't know. It's different for me.
You call Brust a moron a lot, so I wonder what that means. What's more likely?
I'm saying I'd rather be called a moron.
Moron just being mean.
Substitute me calling him, Ben, you're a moron, to Ben, you're stupid. To me, stupid sounds meaner. I'm not mean to Brust.
Yeah. You are. You're mean to him. I listen to the show. You're mean to him.
Not all the time.
Correct. I'll give you not all the time. But sometimes you're mean to him.
There are times.
Yes.
What's more likely?
You're amused by it a little bit, too. Like, wow, that's pretty good. Pretty mean.
What is more likely? Jordan Love is a top 10 QB, or the Packers have a top 3 defense? Top 10 Love is 60%. Top 3 defense is 40%.
Wow, that is tough.
Top 10 Love. Because you look at it, after the top five quarterbacks, it's kind of a crapshoot after that. Like, who were the top 10 quarterbacks last year? I bet either Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins would have been.
Now we're going
10.
Quarterback rating, something like that.
I mean, yeah, or just even QBR. Or there's just after you get through the first 5 or 6, it gets a little muddy. Defense, to be top 3 defense, your defense has to play really well.
Yeah, I always go by points. Other people go by yards, which seems meaningless to me. I would say that especially top 10. Now, if you went top 5.
No. Then I would take the defense.
How high do you have to go to take the defense?
I would say 7.
No.
7, I could see him potentially being 8. 7 or 8 would be my max, I would say.
All right. Yeah, I'm like top 5 for him and top 3 defense. It should be saying the defense for sure, but I just can't do it.
The defense has no pass rush. Without Rashawn Gary, who gets to the quarterback?
I agree. I don't think there's that much about the defense that is that special. Like, what's special? Like, they say Jair Alexander, but
if Jair gets back to an all-pro level, that's special. Kenny Clark is good, but I wouldn't call him special.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, sticking with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, would you rather be stuck in the ocean or in outer space? Ocean 29%, outer space 71%.
This is not even close.
Come on.
Outer space a million times out of a million.
What, you'd rather be
stuck in outer space? You'd rather be stuck under the water?
Well, it didn't say under the water. It said what?
It just said in the ocean. So the inference was under, like the people on the Titanic submersible.
Here's the thing: is either way, if I'm gonna go deep under the ocean or in outer space, I'd rather have it be outer space because I would think it's a lot cooler to see outer space than it would be to see the deep ocean.
No, I mean, I feel like I have a chance in the ocean. Outer space, I got no chance at all. I'm out there. It's over.
In the deep sea, you have no chance.
They had a chance, yes.
No, as soon as you hit the water, poof, you're done.
Well, I mean,
the pressure in itself.
I guess I don't know exactly what the question is in terms of, like which would I rather be in a spaceship gonna die or be deep in the ocean I'm gonna die?
I'd rather go space.
All right.
I would.
You'd enjoy it more before you die.
I would be fascinated to go to space.
You wouldn't be fascinated to do what they did in the ocean?
Not in particular.
Oh, okay.
I think it'd be cool, but as soon as you get below where you can even see whale, what are you looking at? There's nothing down there.
The Titanic.
Yeah, I care less about seeing the Titanic. How many shipwrecks are there in the world where you don't have to go 12,000 feet in the sea?
Thousands, I would presume. Let's move on here to Rutledge and Hamilton, which you can hear 2 to 4 on 100.5 ESPN Madison. I'm fascinated to know Homer's answer to this. Do you believe in soulmates? Yes, 42%. No, 58%.
No, it's crap. It's made up crap. Soulmate. Well, what is that? No, it's just garbage. It's just words made up. Like, do I think of my wife as a soulmate? Not once in my life. What is soulmate? What the hell is that? What is it? What does it mean? Just tell me what it means.
I believe it means you, Homer, your soul has a match with another that makes you both a divine match that makes you both, happier and better and complete.
You just reaffirmed that it's all just made up crap. But it sounds good. In a less visceral way, I am in Homer's club on that. What does less visceral mean? A nicer way? Or
I wouldn't have gone on here and said, have I ever thought of my wife as a soulmate for one day? Absolutely not. But no, I don't think that's the case.
I just don't know really what it means.
It's saying that there's one person out there for you.
No, that's crap. Total crap.
Yes, I tend to agree.
It's getting worse. The crap is getting bigger.
All right, let's go.
Anybody out there really believes there's only one person? As legendary as I believe I am, I'm not the only person for my wife. Come on. How could you be that
narcissistic?
Yes, that's the word. Yes. That's insane.
That much of a
I'm the
moron?
only person. She found her soulmate. She's the luckiest person in the world.
All right, let's do Homer and Tony here, which you can hear 2 to 4 with Homer on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Homer bet Tony $60 that the Packers would win 10 games next season. If Green Bay wins 10 or more, Homer wins $200 from Tony, who made
plus
the right
I get
bet.
the 60.
Plus the 60.
Oh, he made the right bet.
What do you mean you get the 60?
Well, no, it's not like I gave him 60.
Oh, you gave him the 60.
Correct.
Oh, then you get your 260, yeah.
Correct, yeah. No, he made the best bet. I'm the underdog. I thought the odds were the value was such that
the value's fair on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, I think it's possible they win 10 games. The schedule's light. I don't think the division's very good. It's a matter of, can Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur win close games? And you're right. How good is the defense? How effective will the run game be? But when I was flying back from vacation last week on the plane ride home, I watched the 2002 Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Rams and Tom Brady was the quarterback. And I know it was a different game, but Tom Brady wasn't throwing the ball more than 10 yards at a time. They had good special teams. They had a good defense. But you could tell they already knew, and he as a quarterback already knew how to win close games. And I think that's one of the unknowns that we have about Jordan Love. We know he's not going to have the rocket, the arm talent you had with Aaron Rodgers. That's okay. He doesn't need it. It's can he win close games and make good decisions?
No, he can't. Not at that level.
What do you mean?
Well, because anybody who saw him play his final year in college, there were very negative aspects.
There were, but his team was also so bad that you could tell he was trying to do
no way
things.
Tom Brady would have had that record with those players.
Sure. I only meant to compare the idea that he doesn't need to be, even if Jordan Love is average to above average, they still can win 10 games. I don't think they will if he's average to above average, but they can.
Yes, I'd agree with you there.
You should have bet Brust, though, because you would have won.
Possibly.
All right, that does it for pole dancing here on Scalzo and Brust. Homer, your cousin sub of the day. Continue on. Live from Summerfest, Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Thumbs up or stupid. Yeah, emojis can be hostile. Absolutely. Words hurt. Emojis can hurt.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26. The eastbound side of 94, the left lane's blocked. The westbound side, it's off on the left shoulder, still being worked on. So just be extra careful around that area. The rest of the system going to be a bit slow. Southbound 43 going to be slow from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. The northbound side around North Avenue all the way up past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 is going to be heavy from the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer and more humid with a high of 84 at the lakefront, 90 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. June is jam-packed with non-stop racing action. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Up next is the WeatherTech Chicago Region SCCA June Sprints at Road America, June 23rd through the 25th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Really looking at the entire space holistically. The environment, the walls, ceilings, lighting, flooring, furniture, technology, along with acoustics.
To conceptualize how the end users are going to interact with the room, from the furniture all the way down to the AV, having that work seamlessly within the environment and often hiding within the furniture.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Football guy.
I don't care how irritated you are that Jesse did that. The fact that it led to your imitation of me is more than sufficient payoff.
Football guy.
It's you.
Coming at it from different views.
Girls! I didn't know that I did that, but I guess I do.
Go to the grocery store. We'll stop at Fleet Farm.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, Fleet Farm fans, you asked, we listened. You wanted lower prices? You got them. In-store, online. We drop prices everywhere. Lower prices on summer favorites like Liquid Pool Shock, Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets, and Airhead Towables. Lower prices on big name pet care like Purina Tidy Cats. Lower prices on Valvoline motor oils. All because you said so. Look for the bright green price drop signs to find new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life. Only at Fleet Farm.
This is Scalzo and Brust, live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone at Summerfest on 94.5 ESPN.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra, live from Summerfest, hanging out here right near the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. Had some delicious food from Major Goolsby's.
Good. I had the Major Burger or Major, whatever they call it. It was good.
A nice hot dog. It's good. I enjoy a nice hot dog from time to time. You don't seem impressed.
No, I don't buy hot dogs unless it's like a hot dog place.
Okay. Now, do you grill, Homer? Are you a grill guy?
I do some. I'm not crazy about it, but yeah, I can grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
I'm okay.
You never put hot dogs on
I do,
it.
but
Okay.
I'm saying, like, when I go somewhere, I never get a hot dog.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't even know how good their hot dog is because I've eaten at Major Goolsby's for 30 years.
You're
I've
a
never
burger
had
guy.
a hot dog.
You go burger.
Well, because that's kind of what they're known for.
Sure.
But I'll get a hot dog next time.
I'll get
pretty
a
good.
burger next time. We'll switch it up. Homer in for Ben
Sounds like a
Brust. Of course,
blast.
Homer Homer and Tony weekdays 2 to 4, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. On Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. We posted the poll earlier. Would you trade Giannis straight up for Victor Wembanyama? And
87%.
88. So 88% say no, 12% say yes.
Well, I guarantee you,
more than doubled. Since the time
keep
we've been
this
on
one
here.
for the future when people realize how good Wemby is.
I think they're going to realize it.
Then
pretty
it'll
quick,
go,
and
it'll
how
change.
special he is. And I also think it's going to have. I believe that the question has more to do with: do you think that this team is ready to win a championship, meaning the Milwaukee Bucks, with this core? I do. If you don't think they're in a position to do it, then of course you're going to make that deal and sort of hit that reset button in a meaningful way. The Bucks were active in the NBA draft last night. Andre Jackson Jr. out of UConn. Any thoughts on this?
Crazy
or at this
guy.
Point,
it was amazing. We should go back to play-by-play. He would come in and Tony would go, he'll do something stupid real fast. He'll like make a foul or two or this drive. And then, and I wanted Tony to watch it. I believe that they won the national championship because they changed how he played. He used to just be around aggressive foul, and then they made him as part of the offense of dribbling the ball, moving the ball around with Hawkins, and it changed their offense. And we never saw that or Marquette never saw it when Marquette beat them, and I think that was really different. But I have no real idea what he plays. I just know he runs around and fouls a lot and has great energy and.
Yeah, but he's known for his defense and in hustle, but he's not a shooter. And it's a team that generally, traditionally, has invested in shooters under Mike, Budenholzer to surround Giannis. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like for this Bucks team.
No, he's the one guy that you don't have to worry about scoring. He's going to be out there to be tough like. Who was it? Not last year with Portis, but who was the guy the
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker. He's like a Tucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And last year when you had to take Portis off of the court at times,
right.
Having a guy like Jackson could be interesting. They also had Chris Livingston and signed Drew Timme.
That Timme really, I'm curious to see what happens there.
I am too. It's so bizarre to see some of the big guys in college basketball who have so much success not even be considered in terms of developing in the NBA.
Yeah.
I understand it to a degree, but at some point, if you're good at basketball, aren't you just good at basketball?
He's a guy where I'd say I believe he'll figure it out. I'm not sure what that means in terms of how much he can help, but yeah, that's one guy I would have been willing to sign as a free agent because I don't know what kind of a player he's going to become, but I know if he'll figure out how to be the kind of player that can make it in the league.
It seems like
because it doesn't appear that he has any areas that he's really bad at. Other than that, I don't think he jumps much.
No, I don't think pure athleticism is at the top of the list for him. To me, this is another example of just one of these guys has to hit and turn into a rotational player. Like when we talk about that Bucks team getting younger, because they're still very much in their championship window. And I still have confidence that they'll figure out a way to continue to be competitive for a championship for years to come. But it helps when you can hit on some of these undrafted free agents and some of these deeper second-round, late first-round picks. And you hope that if Jackson was a guy they had targeted to the point where Rich Paul told all the other teams, no, the Bucks are going to take him. If he was targeted that heavily, they obviously believe it.
I'd be shocked if he's anything close to what you're acting about.
And you, as the voice of Marquette, had a chance to watch him up close for a while.
I don't think anybody will guard him. But I mean,
it will be like PJ Tucker, where they just.
I think Tucker again is a veteran, but I don't. I don't. I'm counting on nothing from him. Not forever, but for this year.
Yeah. Well, Homer, thanks for hanging out here with us at Summerfest. I know you got to run. We'll come back. Josh and I live from Summerfest. Well, Josh isn't live from Summerfest. He's at the Gruber Law Offices, one called That's All Studios.
I didn't get his comment on Soulmate. Did we hear what he thought about it?
I already know what he thinks of it.
What's he think?
He thinks it's ridiculous.
You got it, Greg.
All right.
He's got a girlfriend, too. I'm not trying to get him in trouble.
Do you think there's only one person in the world for you, or if you don't want to say you, for your significant other?
You asking me or Josh?
Both.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. well,
no, but if you find that soulmate, if you find that one soulmate, it's over.
If you're somebody who believes that everything is destiny and you don't control anything and it's already meant to be, then I guess maybe you could do it. It's just not how I generally live my life. A big thanks to you, Homer. I'm sure we will talk to you next week. Enjoy the weekend. We'll come back live from Summerfest at Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're just setting me up to have to tear Josh down, and I don't like doing that.
Why not? You like tearing me down?
I don't tear anybody down. I'm a guy who likes to build people up.
I wish I felt that way every day when I went home.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. A disappointing season.
He doesn't get it off. The game is over, and so is the season.
And now, a new direction.
Extremely excited for the next chapter of my life of being the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
What's next for the Bucks? Join Ben Brust and Eric Name on Saturday for special State of the Bucks. They'll recap the season and dive into the offseason ahead. It's the State of the Bucks, live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone at Summerfest. Saturday from noon to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with another Hillsborough Brewing Company beer this time, and we're chatting with the owner, Snapper. What makes Hillsborough Brewing Company different than others? Snapper tells us his secret and shares his favorite brew.
Part of it for me has always been we're just a bunch of blue-collar guys. Just, you'll find me with my tape measure on my hip, walking around the brewery fixing things, and I'm pretty low-key. I really like Blonde Walks Into a Bar. It's one of our lightest beers. It's only about 4.5%. Really easy drinking, very comparable to some of the light beers out there, and it allows me, while I'm here at the brewery, to have beers and talk to people and not get silly on IPAs and stuff and still make sense at the end of the day.
Thanks again to Snapper, the owner of Hillsborough Brewing Company, for chatting with me about the brewery and his favorite beer. Summer's here, and my fridge is stocked, so make sure yours is stocked too.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragways 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
At Evans Transportation, they love the sounds of Milwaukee baseball. Bats cracking, crowds cheering, brats grilling. And Evans is a big fan of manufacturing runs, both on the diamond and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. Because, just like in baseball, teams who know how to manufacture runs have the best chance of long-term success. Evans in Delafield supports Milwaukee's baseball team. Find them at evanstrans.com.
One's a Marquette Hall of Famer.
You've never offered to get me coffee.
The other may or not make things up from time to time.
Are you surprised?
How many times?
Latte, please.
I'm not getting it. There's no way.
Homer and Tony.
I checked. You got 2 legs.
Hey, they are cramp up easily.
It doesn't.
Don't forget.
Yeah, and you didn't ask me. How am I supposed to feel? Here, he's cramped up. He's so terrible. I'm right next to him. He doesn't think of asking me for help. What's that tell you?
Tells me you're not very helpful. That tells me.
Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
If you're on the job day in and day out, living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's free beer and free pizza Friday on Scalzo and Brust. Stay tuned to win a case of beer from Ben's Beer Fridge and the overtop deliciousness of a screamin' Sicilian pizza. Whew, it's so screamin' good.
Save me, save me, save me. Save me.
It is Friday on Scalzo and Brust, and beautiful Friday. We're hanging out here at Summerfest. At least I am. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio holding it down at the Gerber Law Office's One Call, That's All studio. I'm hanging out right next to the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. And Joshy, I just went to use the restroom here at Summerfest. I walked in and I saw a wrestler in wrestling tights putting on his face paint as Brew City Wrestling coming up at 6 p.m. at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. It was somewhat alarming walking in and seeing a big man in tights in which his butt cheeks were hanging out the bottom, putting on face paint in the mirror. But we got through it, and there's always something going on here at Summerfest. Homer was on with us earlier, and one of the things we never got a chance to talk with you about, Joshy, was this idea of the Packers bringing in a veteran wide receiver. Now, Homer made the good point that, hey, veterans should help your young guys develop. Now, I just think at this point, let them play. And if you're not trying to win this year, then I do think that they can develop on their own without a veteran. And to me, you're only bringing a veteran if you're trying to win this year. What say you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you more, Greg, than Homer. Homer's point, while it was valid, is often a point made when it's like a veteran team or a young team that's looking to add veterans because they're so good. This team is so unknown that adding somebody like Jarvis Landry, I think all it does is take snaps away from guys you want to see more and develop more from. Now, like, mind you, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs didn't play full seasons last year, and they're going into their second year. So even from them to see less snaps, and now you got Wicks, you've got Jaden Reed, all those young guys. There's just no reason to me to add a Jarvis Landry. And like you also said, just get a coach, get an advisor of sorts. You know, they've got certain guys coming in all the time in Green Bay that can help out in special situations. They'll hire a guy who like gets fired from their job in Detroit even. So it doesn't make much sense to me to risk the coaching staff getting dependent on a guy like Jarvis Landry who's going to be where he needs to be pretty much every single time no matter what, and sacrificing the advancement of those guys. And why risk growing an even stronger bond between the young guys and Jordan Love at this point? Just figure it out and see what happens.
I tend to agree as well, and I don't think the Packers are going to be in the market for a veteran wide receiver down the line here. I do want to give a shout out to American Family Insurance. We're hanging out here at Summerfest, which is presented by American Family Insurance. And I am an AmFam client, and I'm so lucky to be one. Working with my local American Family Insurance agent, amfam.com, to find your local American Family Insurance agent. The best part to me is you have an agent. So whether it's focusing on the home insurance in which you're looking at, the auto insurance, whatever it is, and remember, when you protect both your home and auto with American Family, you can save up to 28%, or through the claim process, you have a team at your back, and that's important as their focus is to protect your dreams. All right, we're at Summerfest, but we still got some free beer Friday, so let's take caller number one in Madison, caller number one in Milwaukee, 990 ESPN 800-990-3776. You get a case of Hillsborough Brewing Co. Beer plus Palermo's Pizza. So again, caller number 1, free beer and pizza Friday in both Madison and Milwaukee. 800-990-3776. Hope to see y'all at Summerfest. Have a weekend, Wisconsin!
We've got a couple of accidents out in Jefferson County, right around Highway 26, the eastbound side of 94.